Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to create live webinar registrant on Google Forms submission. So as a digital marketing expert, I am conducting various webinars on different subjects for my clients on regular basis. To manage the webinars and the content of the webinar, I am using an amazing application that is LiveWebinar. And to collect the registrations for the webinar, I have already created a registration form with the help of Google Forms. Now I have attached this form on my website, and my objective is that as soon as an interested client is going to visit my website, they are going to submit their details with the form submission. Automatically that person should be added as a registrant in live webinar for the specific webinar. To automate this entire process, we are not going to use any kind of coding and programming skills. We are going to set up a connection between Google Forms and live webinar without any coding and programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to learn this amazing automation step by step for your business, then for that let me take you all towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video, I am going to show you that how we can automatically add registrants in live webinar for Google Form submission. So as a digital marketing expert, I am conducting various webinars for my clients. For taking the registrations of these webinars, I have already created a special registration form, and that I've created with the help of Google Forms. So as soon as a client is going to visit my website, they are going to submit this form with their details. I want that person to be added as a registrant in my webinar in live webinar. Now we cannot do it manually because it is going to take a lot of time. Therefore, we are going to automate this entire process by setting up a connection between Google Form and live webinar. And that we are going to do without any coding and any programming skills, simply with the help of Pabbly Connect. So Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation and integration software which helps us to automate all our daily repetitive tasks without the requirement of any coding and any programming skills. So let's get started quickly. This is the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by tapping the URL pabbly.com/connect in our browser. After coming over here, we will find two options: sign in and sign up for free. So in case if you are already an existing user, you can directly click on sign in to log into your account directly. But if you are a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button. It will help you to create a free new account just in 2 minutes. Also, when you will do that, you're going to receive 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. So as an existing user, I'm directly going to click on sign in. But before that, you can see that we are having a year-end sale on Pabbly Connect. But that is definitely for limited time. So if you do not want to miss the offer, just grab it now. So now I'm going to click on sign in to log into my account, and over here we are on all apps section of Pabbly, where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create our automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. It has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, where we can find all the workflows which we have created. And to save the workflows, we can also create separate folders like this. Now to create a new workflow, let's click on this create workflow option. As we have done that, a dialog box is appeared in front of us. It is asking us to provide a name to this workflow. So first of all, let me provide a name over here. Create live webinar registrant on Google Form submission. After giving the name to my workflow, then I'm going to select the folder. Over here, because the automation which I'm going to create is related to my webinars and meetings, so automations for meetings and webinars will be my folder over here, in which I want to save the workflow. Then I'm going to click on create. As soon as we have done that, you can see a new screen is open in front of us, which contains two extremely important windows: trigger and actions. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the two main concepts, the principles, or we can say these are the building blocks on which the entire automation works. Here the trigger says when this happens, and the action says do this. That means the action is the response towards our trigger. So whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow, and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can add as many action steps as we want. Now, let's suppose my objective is that as soon as I'm going to receive a new submission in Google Forms by the client, I want to add that client as a registrant in my live webinar account. So for that, I'm going to take Google Forms in trigger and live webinar in action. But when we are going to build the connection between these applications, we will see that action is going to follow what the trigger commands. Because when the trigger happens, that means when the form is submitted by the client, then only that client will be added as a registrant in the meeting or the webinar in live webinar, otherwise not. So after understanding the whole concept of trigger and action, let us start creating our automation step by step. To start with the process, first of all, let's go towards our trigger step and let us select our trigger application. And our trigger application over here will be definitely Google Forms, by using which we want to start the workflow. Then we have to select the trigger event, on the happening of which event in Google Forms you want to capture the response. So new response received will be our trigger event, because when the response will be captured in Google Forms, that response will be captured inside Pabbly Connect as well. and that too instantly. Now, after understanding this, here you can see we have received a webhook URL. Along with it, we have also received some instructions. So basically, we have to follow the given instructions step by step in order to connect Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. And by following the given instructions, we have to insert the webhook URL inside our Google Form. So do not worry, I'm going to show you each and every step what you have to do to build the connection. So first of all, let's copy the webhook URL, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. And after this, you have to just go towards your Google Forms. You can see this is my Google Form which I have created. It contains a description. Basically, I've created this for my digital marketing webinar which I'm going to conduct. It contains a name, email, contact number. Okay, I can see over here I have duplicate fields, so I have deleted that. Then we have the role. What kind of role the client is currently performing. Okay. So I'm going to build the connection between this form and Pabbly Connect with the help of webhook URL. Then the webhook URL is going to act as a bridge for transferring the data of every new form submission towards Pabbly Connect. For that, we just have to go towards response section, and we cannot directly connect Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. We have to connect Google Forms with Pabbly Connect with the help of Google Sheet. Do not worry, you do not have to create a separate sheet. You just have to go towards response section, and here you will see the option of link to sheets. So you have to click on this button. Over here it is asking us create a new spreadsheet or select existing one. So I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. As soon as we have done that, a new spreadsheet is open in front of us, as we can see. Okay, so the spreadsheet is of the same name as we have of the form, and you can see we have the same fields over here which we have in the form as well. We have name, email, contact number, and the role. Okay, along with this, over here we have the timestamp as well. This means that the date and time at which the form is submitted. So when the form will be submitted, the record of that form submission is going to be created over here. And then when we are going to build the connection between this Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect, as soon as the record will be created in a new row over here, immediately the entire row will be sent towards Pabbly Connect. Then immediately the entire row will be sent towards Pabbly Connect, okay, with the help of webhook URL. So first of all, to start with the process, let us record the data over here. How we are going to do that? For that, we have to submit the form. All right, let's go towards the send section. Over here, we have the link of the form. I'm going to shorten the URL. I will copy it and I will open it in a new tab. And now with some dummy details, I'm going to submit this form. As soon as we will do that, because this form is already linked with our spreadsheet, the record will be created over here. Okay, let's see the name of the client who is submitting this form is user. All right, good user, a random name. Then let's say the email of this user is gooduser48@pabblytudes.com. Let's say the phone number of this person is, and let's say the student of the person is marketing professional. Let me submit this form. As soon as the form is submitted, here the record is created, as you can see. So now as the record is received, the data is received over here in the spreadsheet, we are going to connect this spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect. For that, we have to go towards extensions from the top, and here we can see the option of add-ons. So we have to click on this get add-ons button, which is going to take us towards Google Workspace Marketplace. So over here we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks, which is the add-on or the extension which we have to install in Google Sheets to build the connection between Google Sheet and Pabbly Connect. As you can see, I've already done that. So I'm just going to cross this. My add-on is already installed. But if you have installed the add-on for the very first time, you also have to refresh the spreadsheet once before going towards extensions, because then only you will be able to find the option of Pabbly Connect Webhooks under extensions. Now, as I can find the option, let's go towards initial setup. We have to do an initial setup in which we have to enter two details, webhook URL and the trigger column. So first of all, let us enter the webhook URL. For that, once again, we'll go back towards Pabbly Connect. Let us once again copy the webhook URL and we will paste it over here. Done. Then we have to enter the trigger column. Now what is this? Trigger column is the last data column in which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards Pabbly Connect automatically. So you can see I have multiple columns in my spreadsheet. These are the fields I have in my form, column A, B, C, D, and E. E is the last and the final column I have in my spreadsheet. So I want that when a form will be submitted by the client and the response of that form is going to be captured and recorded in this spreadsheet up till this E column, the current role column, then only the response should be sent towards Pabbly Connect and not before that. It is also saying in the instructions that the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent to the webhook URL. Once the data will be added in the trigger column, the entire row will be immediately sent towards Pabbly Connect. But if you are going to add a new record before the trigger column, the data will not be sent. Okay. So in my case, E is my trigger column. In the similar manner, according to the spreadsheet, you have to decide your trigger column. And then we are going to click on the send test button to send the test response which we have recorded recently towards Pabbly Connect so that we can continue the workflow. As we have done that, the test data is sent successfully. So let us submit the initial setup. And as we have done that, let's cross this. We will move back towards Pabbly Connect and the response is captured. So in this response, we have received all the details. Let's start reading them one by one. First of all, we have received the current role over here, current role of the client, marketing professional. Then we have the trigger column, which we have decided the date and time at which the form is submitted. We have the name of the spreadsheet, spreadsheet ID, sheet name, sheet ID, row index, that is the number of row in which the data is added. Here we have number of row as 2. So we have the row index as well as 2. Then we have the name of the user, we have the email and the contact number. This means our connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect is absolutely successful. But our objective is that whenever the form will be submitted by the client in Google Forms and the data will be added in the Google Sheets, the data should be keep on sending towards Pabbly Connect automatically. For that, we have to do one more thing. We have to go towards extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and we can see the option of send on event. We have to click on this button. As soon as we have done that, now we have made sure that the data will be keep on sending towards Pabbly Connect as soon as the record will be added over here. Okay, so now after building the connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect, our objective is to create the registrant in LiveWebinar. So for that, we have to build the connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect. For that, let's go towards our action step. Let us select our action application as LiveWebinar and let us select that. Now we have to select the action event. What you want to perform in LiveWebinar? I want to create the webinar registrant. So create webinar registrant will be my action event. Then we'll click on connect. For building the connection, you can see we have two options over here, add new connection and select existing connection. If you already have an existing connection, you can just go with that. But I'm going to show you that how you have to create a new connection. For that, I'm already logged into my LiveWebinar account. And you can see that now we are going to click on connect with LiveWebinar. As we have done that, now Pabbly Connect is asking us for the permission to access our LiveWebinar account. The data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. So let's click on authorize over here to provide the permission. And as we have done that, the authorization has become successful already and the connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect is built successfully. So now we have to move forward towards entering the details in these fields to create a registrant over there in the webinar. You can see, first of all, we have to select the webinar, in which webinar you want to add the registrant. So I only have one webinar over here, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, as you can see, in which I want to add the registrants. So it is already selected. But in your case, if you have more than one webinar, so you have to select one of them from the drop down. Then you have to create a registration form for the webinar so that by using the form, the registrations could be made. Although we are setting up an automation that when the Google form will be submitted, the person will be automatically added as a registrant. But also for adding the registrations, you also have to create a form. I've already created that. So automatically the IDs appeared over here. You also have to do the same. Then we have to provide the registrant name, registrant email, first name, last name, etc. Okay, so let us start entering the details over here. First of all, it is asking us the registrant name. So let us start entering them, but we are not going to enter them manually. We are going to use a trick over here, that is of mapping. Mapping makes the data dynamic. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. You can see we have received all the details already in our previous response. So here we have the name to whom we want to add as a registrant. So instead of entering the data manually, let us simply insert this name from the previous step directly. As we have done that, we have mapped this name. This means we have made the data dynamic. So every time a new response will be captured from Google Forms, automatically this name is going to replace with a new name of the new lead who has submitted the form. And in this way, we are going to automate the entire process. Other than this, if we will enter the data manually by typing or by copy and pasting, then that data will become static and then it is not going to replace any time. Therefore, mapping is very important. Okay, so let us map the email now in the similar manner. It is asking us send confirmation to registrant's email. Here I am going to select no. And after mapping the name and the email, here we have to enter the first name and last name as well. You can see we have not received the first name and last name separately. So what we are going to do, we are going to split the name. So let's click on this add action step button in between. To split the name, here we have to use text formatter. Text formatter is an amazing feature of Pabbly which helps us to format the text in the workflows according to our requirements. Over here, we have to select the action event that will be to split the text. Let's click on connect, and which text you want to split? I want to split the name of the registrant. So I will simply map that. And because we have mapped this name, also it is going to replace every time with a new response. Then it is asking us the separator value. What value you want to use in order to separate this name? I want to just split the name and want to separate the name as first name and last name. And we can see we have a space in between the first and the last name. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply use the space. It is saying in the instructions that in case if you want to use space as the separator, then you have to use it in the given format. So let us simply copy and paste it over here. Then it is asking us the segment index. What segment of this text you want, first, second, last, or all.
I want both first name and the last name. So I will select all. Then let's click on save and send test request button. Here we have the first name and the last name separately. So let us simply map them. First name and then the last name. Okay, done. Now let's click on save and send test request button. And as we have done that, it is saying that yes, the registrant is successfully created. We also have received the ID. So now I'm going to take you towards my live webinar account and we will go towards the webinar. We will click on the three dots over here. We have the option of manage registrants and you can see that here we have 3 attendees and in that we have good user as well. This means our connection between Google Forms and live webinar is absolutely successful. So now every time the form will be submitted for the registration, automatically the person who has submitted the form will be added as a registrant or we can say as a participant of the webinar in live webinar. So in a similar manner, you can also create this automation. Once we have completed this integration successfully, let us check whether the automation is running fine or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you back towards the form. We will open the form in a new tab once again. So I'm going to quickly copy the link of the form. I will submit the form with some random details. Once again, let's say this time the name of the user is best user. Let's say the email is best@pabblytudes.com. Let's say the phone number of this participant is, and let's say the role is student. Okay, now I'm going to click on submit. As soon as we have submitted the form, you can see that the record is added over here successfully in Google Sheets. And as the record is created over here, I'm going to take you towards live webinar. We will refresh this attendees section. And here we can see that without any manual efforts, automatically a new registrant is added with the name as best user and with the same email. This means our connection between Google Forms and live webinar is absolutely successful and also our workflow is running fine. We have also applied text formatter in between in order to split the name. But in your case, if you have fields separately of first name and last name in your Google form, you can directly map them. So I hope this automation is clear to you. Also, it is helpful for your business. Thank you for watching.
Not only these applications, but you can integrate multiple such amazing applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any doubt, you can write us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to ask about the pricing, you can visit this website given over here. Do not forget to share our videos, like our video, and also subscribe our channel for more such amazing automations.